Hi, welcome back to iRender. Today, we'll explore how to simulate the beautiful and intricate quilling art style using the scene nodes in Cinema 4D. First, we want to give a huge thanks to Dominik Ruckli and Donovan Keith for sharing their invaluable knowledge about scene nodes, which helped us create this tutorial. If you're interested in diving deeper into scene nodes, we highly recommend checking out their YouTube channels. Links are in the description below. Ready to bring paper quilling to life digitally? Let's get started. We'll start with nodes mesh, or you can use object group depending on your preference. Use the mesh primitive node and set the primitive type to platonic. Choose tetra as the type to start from the simplest case. Next, add a select node, type as Polygons, and use all for the selection string. Connect this to an inset node with the inset set to 20% by default. Now, use an invert selection node, type as Polygons, and connect it to a delete node. This step separates the faces of the platonic object. Let's briefly discuss the algorithm. Each polygon has vertices and a center point. Our goal is to create vectors connecting each vertex to the center. Divide these vectors into equal parts and connect the divided points to form spirals or spirangles. Next, select a Polygons info node and connect its centers port to an iterate collection node. Link the index port to the selection string of the select node. Repeat the steps before. So we have completed separating the polygons from the original basic faces. Group them together in a scaffold for better organization. Next, get a Polygons info node. Use a get element node to connect the centers port. Then, connect an iterate collection node to the normals port. Use a scale node with the data type set to vector and connect it to the element port. Create a parametric input normal scale. Use an arithmetic add node, data type vector, to connect the value port of get element and result port of scale node. Now, use another iterate collection node to retrieve data from the positions port. Use subtract vector from result port and elements port. We have vectors connecting from center to vertex of polygon. To divide these vectors into equal parts, use a range node and create a parametric input loop set to 8. Use a combination of subtract, integer, and divide, float nodes to complete the division. Then, use scale, vector, add vector nodes, and an assemble collection node with the scope from the range node. Check the result with an assemble spline node. I made a little mistake in dividing the vector. We have the result of vectors connecting from vertex to center of polygon and divided by loop input. Gather all in the assemble collection node with scope from the initial iterate collection node. To connect the divided points along these vectors, use another range node, renamed range index. Use an iterate collection node with the scope from range index, and connect to result port of assemble collection. Use a get element node with array connected to elements port of iterate collection and index connected to range port of range index. Then, collect values from get element with an append elements node. You may notice that the splines between polygons are connecting continuously, which we need to fix. Use an erase elements node with the index and scope from the initial iterate collection. Connect it to the array port of the append elements, and the issue will be resolved. Change the platonic type to test different polygonal shapes. To control the growth of the splines, use a trim spline modifier node. Add a resample spline node to smooth the spline shapes. Finally, to give the splines a surface, use an extrude line node and a thicken node. Adjust the parametric input values until you achieve your desired look. So, we've recreated the elegant quilling art style using Cinema 4D's scene nodes. You can use quilling spirangles to form a wide variety of subjects, like this bird we made. We hope this tutorial inspires you to explore more creative possibilities. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay updated for more tutorials. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy creating, happy rendering with iRender.